What's going on? It's your boy Bad Existence, and I am back to do another video for you guys. And in this video, I'm going to talk about the best techniques to use when eating, when you're out on a date or in public or out at any engagements, what your best techniques are going to be so that you don't look like a slob. All right, so I'm first want to start off this video by saying thank you to each and every one of y'all brothers that was on the live stream last night. I really appreciate y'all. I had a good time with y'all. I did rewatch some of the live stream. There were a lot of comments that your brother missed. If I did not engage or answer your questions or hit your comment or acknowledge it, I really apologize, man. You gotta give your brother some slack because it was a new format for me and I couldn't keep up with the comments and figure everything out, but they will get better as time goes on. I promise you guys I'm gonna do a lot more live streams, so pardon me if I missed any of y'all brothers and I missed any of your comments. All right, so I'm gonna talk to y'all about, this was a question that was posed to me by one of the brothers on the channel. He asked me what should he do when out on a date as far as eating goes, and this can go for anything, anytime you're eating out in public, whether you're on a date, whether you're at a work function, out in public and you have a beard. One of the things you do not want to do is walk around with food or sauce in your beard, because it's not a good look. All right, so I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna give you some techniques and some tips to help with that. So the first thing you want to do is you want to make sure when you're looking at the menu or when you're going to choose what you're going to eat, you're going to keep in mind what the potentials are for it leaving a mess in your beard, because you are going to have to change your eating habits, especially when you're out in public, when you start to grow a bigger beard. So some of the things I want you to keep in mind. Sandwiches are definitely something you should stay away from on a first date or any big public engagements. You want to stay away from sandwiches. If you cannot, if you're on a date somewhere or you're somewhere where there's not very many choices and you really want a sandwich, try not to put any sauce on it. Try to eat it as dry as possible, no sauces. So if you're having like a burger and fries, you can put ketchup on the fries. I would not put any ketchup or any sauces, any mayos or anything in the burger, because when you take a bite, it's normally, that sauce can come out on the sides and end up in your beard and you will not know, and you'll be sitting there talking with ketchup in your beard. Not a good look. There is a fix for that. You can eat a burger with a knife and fork. A little weird, but you can do it. You can cut it up into small pieces. But if you grab a burger and you take a bite into any kind of sandwich and it has sauce, mayo, ketchup, barbecue sauce, whatever, you're gonna end up with it in your beard. You also want to try to stay away from a lot of Italian foods, pastas, spaghettis, anything with those sauces that are any of the stringy foods that can potentially drip and drip in your beard. Now, one of the things you may want to do, you got to get comfortable if you're on a date and let her know that, let the person you're on a date with, let her know that you're on this date, and you can have the conversation about a beard. It may come up if you talk about it, because one of the things that I do that helps out a lot is your phone's selfie facing camera that you can actually take a look at every now and then and make sure you don't have food and sauces in your beard. If you're on a first date, it might leave a bad impression if you're always looking at your phone. So you may, you can break the ice somehow and let her know that you're looking at the phone, just to make sure that everything's on the up and up. Yeah. And you got to come up with a smooth way of doing that. You know what I mean? Don't, come off. Y'all brothers know what to do. The next thing is going to be breads. All right, breads, toasted and crumbly breads, also something that's tough. So if you go out to dinner and that bread basket is in the middle of the table, don't grab it and start taking bites, because crumbs are gonna fall in your beard and those white crumbs are gonna show up pretty big. You can put it in your plate, you can break off little pieces and stuff it in your mouth, but you don't want to eat foods you're gonna be taking bites of and crumbs can possibly fall in the beard. Appetizers like tortilla chips, anything like that, you want to stay away from. You want to try to eat softer foods, and you want to always use a knife and fork and cut up a lot smaller pieces than you normally would use or normally would eat. Now that's also one of the benefits of having a beard, because a beard also changes your lifestyle. It changes, it makes you a lot more health conscious. And eating in smaller bites is actually better for your digestive system. And you may notice a difference in the way your body processes your food when you start cutting in smaller bites, chewing your food a little bit better, and instead of just biting and swallowing. I used to be a fast eater, slowed down a lot, and in my digestive system, I can tell it does work a little bit better. So the smaller bites, it does pay off. Okay, now the drink choices when you're on a date. There's a couple things you can do. Sometimes I would choose a root beer. I would order a root beer if I'm out, and I don't really drink soda, but that's something that I know is gonna come in a bottle as opposed to in a mug, because if your mustache is of any size, you don't really want to drink from a glass. You want to use a bottle. If you're in a nicer restaurant or something and there's not access to a bottle, make sure you use a straw. Don't just drink from the glass. All right. Desserts, always another thing you want to keep in mind when out on a date. The desserts that you choose, any fudges, hot fudge, any syrups, anything like that, make sure you use the dessert spoon, which is going to be a lot smaller spoon than your regular teaspoon, and make sure you're eating in little bites. Everything in little bites is going to help you out, because as long as nothing gets on the side, gets in your mustache, nothing falls in the beard, it's not going to leave as much of a mess. All right. And on top of that, so you're going to be a lot more conscious of how you're eating, and you're going to come off presenting yourself eating with a lot of manners, and table etiquette is what they would call it. So you're going to be showing that you have a lot of table etiquette. You're going to look like a gentleman, and you're not just going to be ripping and tearing into your food, because you don't want to have food all in your beard when you're out. You can kill someone else's appetite. You're going to look crazy. You don't want to do that. Also, another thing, keep the napkin in your lap, and every now and then just dab around your mouth. Make sure you keep the corners of your mouth dry. Make sure you don't have any sauces or anything in your mouth, and make sure you take a look at the napkin to see if there was anything there. If there was, you need to grab that phone, flip that camera around, and take a quick look at yourself. All right. I just wanted to get this video out. I hope some of those tips helped y'all brothers out. If anybody in the comment section wants to add anything that I missed, go ahead and drop it in the comment section. Once again, your boy Bearded Existence hopes y'all have a great 2019, and I'll be back at y'all again soon. All right? Peace.